Well, just less than 48 hours ago, his wife, hello? My, hi.
Hello there, ma'am. Say you wanted to have a little chat, eh?
I'm sorry, you'd like to have a chat?
Well, yeah. Why else would anyone come to desolate arrow like this, huh? Not, like there isn't much on offer, yeah? But,
I think that's that fellow right there that has his weapon pointed at me.
But, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend your home, no? Homes where the heart is at, huh?
Of course, of course. You just startled me is all. And, I'm sorry, I would...
Well, that's a comment, huh?
What was your name?
Hmm? Well, what do you say? Well, name is Bostock, but you can call me Bostock.
Bostock, okay. Well, my name is Alyssa.
There we have the rest, huh? Oh,
As soon as we get here, the first thing I notice is the braid. You know the braid she's wearing.
Ow!
She was it's not our bad.
I know it's not ours.
Do you know the CDF, huh?
I think I've met a couple of people in the CDF, gosh, maybe weeks ago.
Okay. Because you are wearing one of their little hats, huh?
I thought this was the New Zealand. It's got the little bird on it. I just wear it because I like the color green.
Yeah, what'd you say?
I said I just wear it because I like the color green. It's got the little New Zealand bird on it.
Idea. I'm just saying. Many people, they do not associate that little beret there with anything good, huh?
Well, I can't find one of the pretty black ones.
Many people died to that beret. Many of my people died to that beret.
Well, I had no idea that that was the case. It says New Zealand on the top. I don't understand how that's...
For institution that statute itself on knowledge, it's quite ignorant, huh? Quite ignorant, the word.
Well, here, look, see, it's from... It says...
Oh, I know this fella right here.
It's got the New Zealand seal on it. What does
I think I see you before as well, huh?
Tell me how does
He already said that he knew it was the New Zealand seal. He just wears the fucking color. Doesn't matter what seal's on it now. They just try to find the color.
Indeed. Yeah, you don't understand it's not your intention, but you know, it's like if I wear a uniform of U.S. Navy, anything like that, huh? It is me attempting to be something I'm not, huh?
Oh, I don't think
not really respectful to anyone.
Yeah, I don't think if you wore a U.S.
Oh, I
Navy,
certainly don't intend it to be disrespectful.
Uniform right now, anybody would give a crap, I guess.
Well, at times those people give a crap, unfortunately. It is the case that history is never really forgotten, is it? As much as perhaps we would like to forget, this does not happen.
I don't
I believe
any of
Bostock
it,
was,
you know, keeps us alive.
Yes, okay. No, not,
Perhaps we should.
okay.
Should.
Not,
There is
not
things
to
that never
impress
go away.
In,
But see, not everyone likes hotels.
now,
A man in touch with
you,
history and
you
pop
organize
culture, eh?
this, yes?
I'm sorry, what is it?
Indeed. I don't remember the name of hotel, but I remember movie, huh?
it was an
Can we
excellent
Anyway,
film.
We got a
get
little
down to
bit
business.
rough start. That I apologize.
I'm not.
You
I'm
must
sorry,
also
I wasn't
my
really
style,
aware
huh?
of... Yes, gosh, I'm so sorry. It's very difficult to listen to both of you.
Don't worry. It's sort of sorted, huh?
Vostok, shut the fuck up so he can talk. Shit.
I'll deal with you later.
Okay.
By the way, a doctor? I'll let you handle talking. Doesn't do too well
What
when I
I'm
go.
saying, he's here to
Sorry
talk with the
to
doctor.
interrupt
He
your...
can talk.
no. I believe we got the frequency of a man named Percy up at the colony.
Oh, yes, Mr. Percival Windsor. How is he? Have you seen him recently, then?
We saw him only a few hours ago. We have traveled immediately from there to here today.
Oh, well, my goodness. Well, then be welcome. First, gosh, do you guys need any food, water, anything?
No, we are quite alright.
Excellent.
We come because you or Percy told us that you are a neutral party within Chernarus, or are supposedly attempting to be.
Well, Mr. Percival must speak more highly of me than is really necessary. I am just a woman, and some friends of mine and I, yes, are attempting to hopefully build an educational institution. Now, of course, it's my understanding that any real educational institution open to the public must, of course, be neutral, since it is neither a police force, nor a military, nor government.
Well, I mean, an educational institution can, of course, be neutral in itself, but if that institution, say in World War II, I do not think that the Germans feel that they do not wish to bomb, Russian schools or something like this. I don't think this is the case. The neutrality is only in the name, so to speak. But
Fortunately,
of course,
there aren't
be
too many
neutral.
bombers left. I'm grateful for that, if nothing else.
Of course. Now, do you know who we are?
I'm afraid I have not been introduced properly. I must apologize.
Well, do you know what the symbol on our berets is?
I do understand that is the symbol of a pro-nationalist group, if I understand correctly, but I'm afraid I have not met any.
No. The symbol is a communist symbol, the communist star. We are the Russian movement of the Red Star, also known as the Chedaki. We are not nationalists.
Now, I have indeed heard the name
Nationalism
Chedaki. I understand you're very much invested in caring for your country and home.
Not so much, the nationalism. I guess gets a little lost on foreigners, perhaps. What we are interested in is not so much the people. If we were nationalists, we would not be here now. We would be with Russians. Ethnically, we are Russian and Russian, born in Chernarus. Many of us have lived here for our entire lives. However, this country is a country which has betrayed us and fought us. So any sort of love in our hearts for this country has unfortunately been diminished through the years of fighting which we have taken part of. Now, you understand that I don't know how much you know about Chen Russian history. Are you aware about the Civil War?
I am aware, I would say, perhaps of the basics of the Civil War. Unfortunately, I found so few Cherno Russians and natives to tell me more about the history, and it's very difficult, as you can tell, to hear from others.
Many do not like to speak, Many would simply rather sweep it under the rug, so to speak. Would rather forget than remember. Now in our movement started off as a democratic party. Within Chonaris there were elections in 2008. Now we had a majority lead in these elections, but we lost. We accused the government at the time, the pro-Western government, of foul play. We believed that the results had been tampered with, and so we felt like the time for democracy was over, and that the only way to reclaim the land, which was rightfully ours, was to fight for it. And such is the way through 2008. There was something which Gen Russians like to call the September Crisis, which was a time of civil war, and this civil war continued right into 2009. And nearing the end of 2009, we launched a coup d'etat against the Gen Russian government, and we took everywhere in this country.
What is it?
Except for Electro. Now we held on to this for a little while. The CDF were very, entrenched in their positions in Electro, and the government decided to call in their friends, the United States military. After this, there was a further period of war where each town, each city that we fought for was slowly, one by one, taken from us. Our land, which we had liberated in the name of communism, was once again taken from us, from the US. Now I have no dissent against United States citizens. However, some of these men are perhaps not too welcoming of foreigners. I, however, realized that the blame is not all on the nationality, so to speak. As I said, I am not a nationalist. Nationalism is not something close to my heart. I am a man driven by communist beliefs. I am a man who was not a fighter, but was instead a politician, and was forced to pick up a weapon because this is something that I believe in. Now, during our time, throughout the war, the government launched many attacks on us. Throughout, obviously, this is only a small part, South Korea, only a small part of Chonaris as a whole. And throughout Chonaris, we were demonized, we were said to be terrorists and, extremists, etc. When all we really wanted was to fight for our land, was to fight for our freedom. The reason I stand up, the reason I learned to wield a weapon, the reason I do all of this is because I did not feel as if our government was listening to us. I felt ignored as a worker. So, I began in politics. Exactly. The people in power are more often than not invested in continuing this power, continuing the whole of this power, not giving it to the people. I mean, you can look around at this town in itself. You can go inside the houses. You can see the kind of the conditions that the Gen Russian citizens had to deal with, and this was everybody, from the thousands who were employed at the electoral power plant to those employed through our capital of Chernogorsk, to everywhere else. We need labor, but pay was not high. People were ignored. Many areas were simply ignored, this being one of them. This land had so much potential, but was unfortunately lost. So anything you may have heard about us, and I assume you have heard things in talking to the CDF and NBC and whoever else you've spoken to, you may have heard bad things about us. now I would like to come here today, especially, you know, this is what we're trying to do, trying to come to neutral parties and explain ourselves and explain what we, you know, I think it can be rather polarizing occasionally. Often you find that, you know, people who have gone through capitalism their whole life, it tends to become entrenched in them, you know? Exactly, so as always it is best to see for yourself, I guess. So, you know, here we are. We are showing ourselves to you, so that you know that we are not not a group which is looking for violence, not violence against the people. You know, I will not lie, we intend to eliminate the CDF and the MBC. We do not believe, we believe that these men are national traitors, nothing less. That these men simply stand in the way of what we plan to achieve through this place. However, everyone else, you especially, people like Percy in the colony, people who are attempting to bring people together, who are attempting to foster peace, who are attempting to rebuild society, these are the people who we wish to appeal to.
Well, I certainly appreciate you taking the time out of your schedules to come and visit us today, and I certainly hope that that you like what we've started here. We've only just begun. You can see, I mean, the houses and things are still in disrepair, but well, we're very close to having one of the radio towers actually operational, and I think that will be a great service to everyone in the country. We're collecting a lot of books for a library. But anyway, enough about me. Once again, I have to thank you and welcome you. I appreciate you telling me your side of the story. These are the kinds of things that we're hoping to preserve here. You know, it's not just about books. It's about human knowledge and what people know, trades, history, all of those things. Perhaps we'll get to understand more about what has happened here and preserve the history and knowledge that you guys possess.
You don't understand methods, you don't care for method, huh? I show you one way. It's clean, no violence, it is gets point across, no trouble, eh? It's just a better way, huh?
It just seemed
again,
like you had a very
you
odd way
don't have
of
to worry,
expressing
you
yourself.
don't matter. There isn't, so no need to concern yourself. Don't be afraid, huh? We just wait until your what is word? We wait for Master to return, huh?
Oh yeah.
Since you seem like
Go ahead,
first
fella.
no believe in that, not in equality. No, other man. We just had little word with that over there, huh? Not the most pleasant man. A little bit rude. Little bit rude, and perhaps not someone who you should be consulting with public relations, huh?
Oh, I apologize. I assure you he's been very kind to me. He's, well, I'm hoping he'll show me about some security
That he may
gaps
have been,
here.
but he doesn't seem to be understanding much of the ways one
Yep.
talks.
Ooh!
Civil discussion, huh?
I just searched the town. I found no one. We should be okay.
Okay, good. Nothing to worry about then. Now either way, back to a little talk. Yeah. Sorry if your friend over there a little bit afraid, but you have to be shown something, huh?
I'm sure at the end of the day we'll all be just fine.
Either way, again, we're not here to intimidate, we're not here to cause trouble. We want to check you out, talk to you, see what kind of persons you are, huh?
Well, and that's always welcome.
What you believe in, what kind of stances you make, and when the time comes, see where you will stand, which side of the door on the wall. So you tell me, what do you believe in? What kind of people are you?
What kind of people am I? Well, I'm the kind of person who spends her days with friends who gather up extra food and supplies, medicine and things for survivors. The kind of person who prides herself on being able to talk reasonably with anyone who's able to come to me in peace. And the kind of person who chooses the side of humanity rather than well, petty personal squabbles or anything of the sort.
But in grand scheme of things, you say you try to help. You offer people a chance, huh?
I have always done so, and I certainly hope to continue to do so, yes, sir.
That is noble indeed, but the question is, for what do you gain from this? Why do you do it? As interesting as what you do is why.
Well, I think
That's interesting.
it's a very dark time. You know, the infection is spread, and of course, this country is on the heels of a civil war. It seems to me that if we all take care of each other, we'll all be taken care of. It's really very simple.
Yeah, that is true. That is noble indeed. That is what we believe. That each man is equal. Yeah, unless one proves not to be. But that is fine, you know.
And further, I think
We need to do what we need to do to make sure everyone has a fair chance. Everyone is equal, huh? Everyone deserves as much. Everyone deserves their bellies filled. A meal a day or multiple if possible for everyone. Everyone deserves freedom, choice. Not a man on top, not someone looking down on everyone, huh? That is not us, huh?
well, if the infection has taught us anything, it
That
is
is
perhaps that these
what we
things are
believe.
inherent in humanity, you know. Obedience is a matter of choice. Now things are broken down and, well, to a certain extent people are free. Maybe freer than is good for us as a whole, but
That is still, to a certain degree, true, but to others, not. For those who took before, they still take. There are plenty of people who believe only in themselves, only in their own right, huh?
yes, but
They
hasn't
take
it been
from
the case
everyone what
throughout
what
humanity?
they want, not what they need. They take... No, sorry, go ahead, apologize.
Oh, no, it's clearly we have so much to discuss. It just seems that, and in fact this is one of the problems that, well, honestly, Alcyone struggles with, what to preserve from the old times and what was problematic. I mean, this issue of there being people only in it for themselves, well, this has been a problem throughout human history and politics, wouldn't you say?
Let me just have a little look over there. I see something running around, huh? Nah. I'll see it sooner or later. Someone is sneaking around.
But yes, you are right. Selfishness is transcended time, and it's probably time
Indeed.
immemorial. It'll be around forever. But we have to do what we can to minimize it.
Yes, indeed, and this is why
Everyone
also...
should have a right to at least survive, to live. Huh?
yes, and
Not
we
like a big boss of corporation from before, treating themselves as better man, huh? Who are they to lead or not?
yes, and this is exactly why everything that we do here we try to base on hospitality. You know, people need their basic survival needs taken care of first. You know, I used to be a counselor, therapist, so you know, I think in terms of counseling often, and well, there's a hierarchy of needs. You know, man has to have a full belly, right? So that's one of the first things that we try to take care of. We do our best to go hunting as often as we can, to to keep food and give it to people, and then talk about ideas, discuss who they are, where they've been, what kinds of problems they're having, that sort of thing. A foundation of hospitality and generosity rather than selfishness and taking. This is one of the places from which we start here.
Precisely. That is the problem with this country, huh? Too many people walk around, think they can do what they want, take what they want from our people. They think that they are untouchable. They think that they are the ones to live on others' suffering, huh? Many people fight for not the right of everyone, but for the right of a few. Always has been, and there will always be those that do for that, huh? Precisely. As one stands from, well, 1,000 broken men, you know? That is the thing we work against. Everyone should have equal rights. Everyone should be able to live comfortable. Everyone should be working together, not for themselves, but for everyone. Knowledge is power, and, well, power can be powerful and dangerous.
Yes, indeed. Well, it's
But then, knowledge should be for everyone. See?
Well, it can in fact be very difficult to, as you've already heard, to be neutral if there is really a threat to...
the point.
Yes, well, if there really is a threat to Alcyonne's existence, it is perhaps her autonomy and her ability to cling to the ideal of wisdom and knowledge and sharing those things with all people. It's a very difficult road to walk, but I assure you I am committed to providing whatever services we're able to build here to all of the survivors in the country. We are committed to protection of survivors and students. Of course, we're not a military or a police. We can only hope to really protect people, you know, as they attend events or things like that on campus. We certainly are not here to cause trouble or to spread lies or rumors. In fact, any information and skills, history that we can collect and preserve, we'll be happy to work with you and your people to do it and share it.
So you speak a lot of this neutrality, but there is a thing. When death comes knocking, there are only two things to do. It's either let it in or bar up your door and fight it, eh? So, when time comes, there will always be the choice. Do you let death in, marshal over you and take you with you? Or do you close your door and help fight against it?
Oh, sir, I have no intention of laying down to death should he come knocking at my door, but he hasn't come a-knocking yet. I certainly hope you don't bring him.
One day it will, for all of us. And that is when one picks a side. To be with the cravens, those who fight for themselves, or those who fight for everyone.
But you
That
see,
is when
in
one
that,
makes
sir,
the choice.
I have already chosen that side. That side is here. That side is with people who need a bag of rice, with people who need to learn how to farm, with people who don't know an apple tree from an ash tree, with people who don't know how to read, with people who don't know how to read a map, or who need to know where to go for the nearest supplies, or who need to remember what it means to have grown up here once upon a time. I have chosen a side, and it is the side of the people who wish to live in peace and survive every day here.
Then you choose. That is a third choice. Few people get a third choice, huh? See, for all people speak of siding with the people, that is one thing that is not very true. When one chooses not to side with anyone, they do not side with the people. They side with fear, cravens.
There are the reasons that you don't want to have any
There are two choices in taking down the... There are two choices. You go with it or you go against it. There will always be the two. You give up or you give in.
Well,
Or
what
you go
exactly am I, should I be asked to give up? Or what should anyone wish to take from me? You see, I have nothing here materially that I cling to. Should you desire a weapon here? Oh, but
That
it
is
will
what many
end.
people believe.
It will end one way or another one of these
Some
days.
people, you have clothes on your back, you have a weapon, you have your life, you have a town, you have people, you have knowledge. People will
These
seek
things.
to take
Food.
what you have,
And they are freely
regardless of
given.
how, or regardless of who. People always seek. Many people seek for their own gain, to further their own agendas, to grow themselves stronger on the pain of others. Huh?
Well, they seek to take what others have, so the others have none, even if they need it or don't need it.
But see, one does not need to steal to take. If you stand down and give up your life, give up everything you built, what says that about you? What kind of leader gives away the lives of their people?
I don't...
The survival of their
You see,
people.
first of all, I have not been in any sort of a situation where any of my people really have been threatened lethally. The closest that we came to such a situation, sir, I traded my life for hers. I put myself in the hot seat. I assure you that should
is noble
someone
indeed.
come
but noble.
down this road,
But the thing is, you are not alone here. You claim a town, you claim a people, you claim many lives. Many lives would be lost with you, huh? You go down, these men, women, they suffer for it, huh? They lose because of that. But you make mistake. You think people will think enough with you, with what you have, and again, it's so far. But there will be a day. The day will be reckoned soon, huh? There will always be a day.
and on that day, sir, I will cross that bridge. I will stand, and if I have to hold my weapon in hand to do so, then I am not opposed to doing that. I may be neutral, sir, but I am not a pacifist.
Then the question is on which side you will stand. For there will always be a side.
This side, right here, I'm standing on it, sir. This is the campus that I hope to build. Against whoever holds the weapon to my head or my people's head.
I see you are stubborn, huh? We will see how it goes for you. I wish you the best of luck, I really do. But one gives and one takes. That is
And
the way of the world.
what is it that you would give or take? What is it that you would have me give or take? You seem dissatisfied, and yet you tell me that I have a noble ideal. On one hand, we seem to share
You have noble
many
ideas,
commonalities.
There are noble fools. Many noble men are fools. That is the thing.
My friend Bostock
One-
here comes off very gruff. He, manners are not his strongest suit. He's just in his own way looking out for you. He realizes whether you do or not, you have a nice thing here, and there are people who, just because you have a nice thing, will want to take it, just so you don't have it anymore. That is simply what he is trying to say.
Some men just want to watch the world burn, huh? The thing is, I'll look up to this. It's nice. It's a good place, but it's naive. This relies on the kindness of others. It relies on other people, on their beliefs, on their choices, on their wishes, on their willingness to let be, to be kind. But as said, there are many people in this world who take and take and take for their own. They wish themselves all the good. They wish themselves to rule. The king among beggars, huh?
Yes,
That
of
is
course.
the world.
I do not
And
disagree.
that is, when they come knocking, you make a choice. And that choice will always be there, huh?
But surely you understand,
Yeah.
perhaps better than most, that where the people are, that is where the numbers are, right? The people who are working together, the
Pardon
people
me,
who love a thing.
I think our friend is having a...
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Either way,
There,
we will continue this talk at another time.
well, I certainly hope so.
Nice little chat, not that it went very far.
It's a shame. I do hope to hear more.
The voice that I'm...
Indeed.
That is a voice I've
We will
heard
return
before.
another day. We will see what we can come with. Examples.
You
See.
say you don't want to fight. yet
What
you're
better way to save you?
trifling me on a lot of my opinions. Like you're asking
Until then, best of
CTF
luck.
sympathize.
Well, I thank you. You know,
Flames do flicker bright
I'm not
here.
saying I have a magical answer here either, so suggestions are welcome.
And everyone's best
I might
interest.
want to.
You just might want to
I
leave.
might want to leave my own campus. I'm not really interested in that.
Until we leave. We're leaving in a few minutes. You might. I don't want you to egg my friend on. Obviously, you have disagreement. I don't want anything bad
Mr.
to happen.
Reiner?
He was the one that wanted to speak with me. Yeah?
Mr. Reiner, is everything
Who
okay?
wants to speak with who? Why does this
Was
little
asking
man...
why he was creeping around being all weird, and then he insulted my hat.
You do not agree
Came here with
with
nothing but
our
the purest of
ideals, huh?
attentions.
You're one of them. Think yourself
He's
better
a
than
fucking
others,
CTF sympathizer. His parents were CTF.
I think your friend needs to understand that just because I don't support the Chedaki that killed my family doesn't mean I'm a CDF sympathizer.
Yes, and the CDF killed my father, but you don't see me crying about it. It was war. Bad things happened
huh?
on
Hey,
both
little
sides.
boy, there are always a way in the world. What comes
My
around...
father was murdered in prison after being tortured daily after the war ended.
If your people, your family got lost, well, clearly they lost themselves.
I'm not talking about
Perhaps
the ones
we have
that got
another
killed in
chat,
the war.
little boy. Perhaps we conclude and talk about your family history, huh? I'm curious about your family tree, huh?
До свидания.
Some fruits are ripe to be taken.
До свидания, comrades.
CTF piece of shit.
I have one last word. See, lady, this is why you choose a side. This is why staying neutral does not work. For however noble your intentions are, you'll have people like this working to destroy what you built, huh?
No, this is
People like
this is
this?
just what I'm going to say.
Leave it
Fuck this.
alone.
This
People like a
Hold on,
19-year-old
hold on.
boy whose
Hold
parents were
on.
killed?
He
This
gets
is-
dealt
Hmm?
This is what I'm going to say. You're either with Chedaki or you're against Chedaki.
Leave it alone.
We all lost family before and after.
She's just naive. She will learn sooner or later what some people do to others. The actions of others affect the actions of you. What's that?
Fuck.
Little?
Shit!
What? What?
Come here coming to talk about this new little group and they fucking harping the CTF sympathizer piece of shit.
Why were they here? Did you invite them?
You know CPF can't take care of their own, so they have to find a...
No, apparently they heard about the organization from Mr. Percival.
I see little cunt!
And all they did was come here, throw insults, and say how we're CDF sympathizers just because we don't agree with everything the Chedaki does.
No, that is not in fact all that they did, Mr. Reiner. A couple of them were quite willing to have an excellent conversation, in fact. We all must try to be as calm as possible in the face of such terrible travesties as have happened during the Civil War to so many sides, as well as the infection. These men have their stories as well. They have been affected just as everyone else has. That doesn't minimize the fact that Some horrible people took your parents from you. It doesn't make it right if certain people want to throw insults, but it also doesn't mean that's all there is to them. And that sort of thing is exactly what we're about, Mr. Reiner.
Let's say the people who murdered your parents walked up to you and then, you know, started flaunting it in front of you. What would you be able to do?
I cannot say that I'm at all certain. You don't hear me reprimanding you at all, do you? I'm not reprimanding you.
It took a lot of willpower to not, you know, pull out a gun.
Yes, I know it must have, Mr. Reiner, and I'm very proud of you. It's a very difficult thing to do what we do. No matter whose side, everyone that we've met has told us the same thing. Chedaki, all the way to the colony caravan, they've told us that we cannot stand as we intend to. They've told us that we must choose a side. But I say again and again that we have. That we are, every day. We are contributing to the survival of people. We are contributing to the preservation of human knowledge. We are bringing people together. And as long as we are doing those things...
Sorry to interrupt, madame.
Yes, go ahead.
But I do believe I recognize that voice. Do you remember a man named Sandor?
Yes, I think I do.
Well, he stands in front of you.
Oh my. Well, it's been a while.
Oh, I was wandering the wilderness
man, but
for
I'm
quite
gonna head
some
up into my
time.
little spot in the woods real quick, kind of calm down a little bit from that one-sided conversation, if you know what I mean, man.
Exactly.
Yes,
I
Mr.
couldn't
Whiskey.
stand them at all.
I understand that these are rough folks, but it is often in our best interests
Why are
to
they still here?
listen and observe, Mr. Whiskey, you know? The more we learn, the better off we are, yes?
Nice to hear what you guys think about us when we're not around.
Am I not allowed to speak my mind?
I didn't say that. Did the words come out of my mouth saying that?
And what is it that,
Well, did they?
It's what it sounded like.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure
stumbled into this
none of those
town.
words came out of my mouth. You might want to get ears checked.
the flames burn bright with them. Easily provoked they are.
oh, the pop culture is strong here. I'm sorry,
What's this about,
my manners
you know,
have
that
escaped
gun
me.
that you're talking about. I was talking to the boy, ma'am.
Well, he is in my employ, and he is but a boy. Surely you would prefer to
I
speak
don't
with an
care.
adult? Someone perhaps
Says
more
he
your
was
own
19 years
size.
old. He's an adult.
And how old are you, sir?
Does not matter.
Of course it does. Surely if you're an adult as well, then you know how much difference even just a few years can make at such a tender age.
I don't really care. I was talking to Boyd that said something about, you know, trying to resist using a gun.
That's all well and good, but now you're talking to me, his employer.
Anyway, you want to use the gun?
I'm not going to answer your questions. I have no reason to.
Did you need anything, sir, here in the blue? You're welcome to take anything that you need from the kiosk here.
I think he just ran out the other side while you were talking to him, man.
Oh, well, hopefully he heard.
Soon after the waiter will be Chedaki.
people say the intensity of your mortal flame burns bright, traveler.
Before you leave, sir, did you need any food or drink to take along the road with you?
I'm perfectly fine.
I'm glad to hear it. I certainly hope you are safe in your travels.
Devil, actually. Jack, someone told me you were looking for something like this.
I'm sure that you really don't mean that.
Actually, I do. I hate to see the premature snuffing of any human life. You know, it has been a very difficult world for everyone.
Said, you're either with Chedaki or you're against Chedaki. Soon you will have to pick a side.
Ah, such a narrow view of the world. Look up into the sky, sir, and tell me that you don't see eternity there. Do you see black and white spectrum there?
I see guns, blood, my friends dying for a cause that I'm still living. That is what I see. That is what I always will see.
Yes, sir, I've seen a lot of guns and blood as well.
You don't know. You have not been a part of war. Have you not seen this? You don't know what real struggle is. You're just playing house with this university.
How do you know that? Do you even know who I am or my history? What do you know of me, sir? I'm willing to admit that I don't know you. But have you taken the time?
Tell me then. Tell me of the wars and the combat and your friends dying left and right in front of you as you struggle to, you know, get your ideals across and, you know, make everything a better place. Please tell me of the so.
Oh!
Sound microphone activated.
Alyssa, you do know that this was a scheduled server restart, right?
No, I got a strange... I didn't get the... I think I got kicked before the restart.
You must have lagged out or something, but it was a scheduled restart.
Yeah, I know that,
So,
but I got a strange...
I was gonna RP catching up with you, and then like these.
Oh,
Chedaki
never
sons of
mind. I misread. I thought you said, but I think he may have combat loaded.
No. I'm not sure who I'm speaking to. I don't know the name.
No, you're speaking with the Nima's character, who
you're speaking to me.
Clearly is a moron, but still, your dude threatened ours, and
wait.
if he pulls up again, I am going to slit his throat.
Wait. After I disconnected, after I walked down the road with Enigma's character, or are you saying how hard
No,
when
you
he's
were
saying?
standing there. Remember when I introduced myself again,
Yes.
Alyssa?
Yes.
You said it right before.
What did he say?
He said that he was
said-
so tempted to pull a gun on him or use his
something
gun
like
on us.
that.
Okay,
That's
but
what he
that's
said.
that's not a threat. He said that he was tempted
Yes,
to.
No, it is a threat.
It
I
is a
was
threat.
tempted to use my gun. That's literally.
But
I
he
was tempted to
stopped
shoot
himself.
him.
Okay.
No,
That's
that
still
doesn't
thing.
matter.
Don't. Okay,
It's
come
like
on.
I'm
All right.
saying-
Hey,
I'm
hey.
tempted to put a gun in
Don't
you,
tell me you
bitch.
guys didn't roll in there for hostile RP. If you're gonna fuck around with a 19-year-old who's tempted to use his weapon but
Don't
didn't,
give
come
a
on.
shit about that. I'm gonna say again.
See,
In character,
alright,
we
hold on,
came
hold
from a
on,
meeting
hold on.
for politics, for diplomacy, and this dude, CDF sympathizer, we have no respect for that guy.
Hey, oh, CDF
He's
sympathizer
on the wrong
again.
fucking
That's also an incredible leap,
again,
and you
it's
know that OOC
in-
Lee.
Not really. He
I
pretty
don't know
much
that
said that he's
O'Sealy
totally
as
against
he
us.
said that to me.
He actually
arguing with
he actually stood there and said to you, there is a difference between disliking the people who murdered my parents and sympathizing with the
Listen,
people who are against them.
Listen.
No,
listen.
I'm not
This
going to
is
let
all-
y'all nitpick on hostilities around here now. I'm okay with Chedaki, and I'm good with hostilities.
Just shut up for a second so I can explain my character. Jesus.
Again, the Chedaki ain't really that much for gray sides, especially not when it comes to people, well, pretty much saying that Chedaki scum. That leans very much on CDF sympathizer. And then he
It
says
takes
straight
some
up
real
he's
big
gonna-
men to terrorize a 19-year-old now. That's going to be
Yes,
some real
it
bad
takes-
PR, Chedaki, guys.
And it takes a very stupid 19-year-old to say he's gonna pull a gun on a Chedaki. Again,
That isn't
this
what he
is
said,
in
though.
character and will be dealt with.
What
in
he
character.
said was that he wanted to, and there is a difference.
Not really that big of a difference.
Listen,
no.
listen.
Really,
This
I
has
can
nothing
say
to
that
do
I
with
want to
character.
pull a gun, but if I actually shoot you, there's a major difference. I'm not going to jail for the first one.
That this is not a
One,
court of
it's
law.
a zombie apocalypse. Two, it's all in character. And the reason I said CDF sympathizer is because his family members were CDF. You gotta understand that the Chedaki at all costs do not like CDF. So if
Yes,
your
I do
family-
understand that. I also understand that Mr.
I-
Reiner is playing a
As it
character
is
who
all
was
in
small
character,
when all of this
on our side
happened.
at least.
And this is exactly
Again.
what she'll say because she was standing there listening.
Yes, and this is again. We'll deal with this in character, but if you have any OC hard
No.
feelings,
What
I apologize
what
for
I
that, but
really
this will be
no.
all
What
dealt
I
with in character.
what I really wanted to make sure of was that there wasn't a threat after I disconnected, because I didn't get the typical like
Oh yeah,
the
don't worry
session
about that.
thing.
I'm not gonna.
What I got was
I
the
wasn't gonna threaten you or anything. I'm not.
No,
here to
no, no,
kill
no,
you.
no,
I don't
no.
like the kid.
I wanted to know if Mr. Reiner made a threat after my avatar disconnected. That's what I was afraid of.
Yes.
But you are talking
Either way,
about
we'll see
how
this
he
plays out.
said-
We are not don't worry.
because I want to know if after I walk Enigma's character down the road, then I get disconnected. Then after that, I get your dude threatened ours. What I'm wondering is, did he pull a gun or something after I leave him? Not the I was tempted to use a gun statement. Was there another threat?
but the
Is
whole-
what I'm asking.
No, there wasn't any other threat. No, but it is saying that I was close to using a gun is a threat. It's not a lethal threat. It's not a life-threatening threat, but it's still a threat nonetheless.
It's also appropriate
I
RP.
call it very strong shit talking.
I'm gonna call it a threat. A threat to the point where it's not gonna be a KOS right kind of bullshit, and we have no
Yeah,
intention of
I
doing
can't
that.
just walk up and kill
We have
him.
no
That's-
intention of coming here to kill.
Well,
people.
well, of
That is
course not.
why
I
we
know
came.
that. I know that, or else I wouldn't just step up in front of the dude, threatening or at least being a hard ass to Reiner. I mean, if we were going to go there, then the fucks and the sympathizers and the spitting and we're not going to go there because it's RP. This is all of it. I think has been appropriate RP for everybody's character. No, what I came in to say, really, is that, oh my god, I'm not combat logging on you. I think I DC'd before the restart.
It just turned out to seem very much like
and did Reiner...
screaming match regarding...
and did Reiner raise a weapon against you guys, or make another statement after my avatar disappeared?
He never made any other statement after that. As you...
No, if he had pulled a gun and threatened us...
Because of course, Alyssa is going to handle... She's not wanting Reiner to go waving his mouth around either, derp, and she's not stupid enough to think that y'all couldn't still hear her. Okay?
Because as soon as I heard you two talking, I ran back.
I'm still pissed. I was like trying to be like, hey, Alyssa,
I
I'm like, god damn it, you asshat.
Well, I did it for the comedic effect because I know Volk was not paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
No, it never crossed my mind that y'all actually left town. Y'all went up in the woods and moved around and no, they went out of the edge. Not all of them. At least one of them has stayed. I would say two.
No,
Enigma's still there.
People around with scopes on Reiner at the moment.
Is what I'm saying. I'm the
yeah,
only one
Enigma
there.
was the only one still lurking around.
Oh, I would.
Most of us had left.
Alyssa would have.
I heard that Reiner was gonna pull shit. We turned around and
no, Reiner would not pull shit. Reiner knows I would fucking kill him.
Well, Reiner basically said he wanted to pull shit.
He doesn't know how to control his mouth.
Wanting to do shit and doing shit are two different things. I smacked him upside the head just last night.
That's up to definitions and interpretations.
I'm pretty sure some of your guys wanted to put a bullet in Mr. Reiner's brain, but they didn't. Right?
Yeah, if I wanted to kill him, I would have done it.
Exactly.
Well, he's not playing under Volky, because I've still got a kill order to kill Volky.
That sounds a little bit funny to me, because if I see a guy that's 10 times bigger than me, I go tell him, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. But you're not worth it. You know what's gonna happen?
He's gonna
You're gonna enjoy a potato pancake?
Yeah, he's probably gonna beat the shit out of me.
I'm helping out zombie killing in your town, by the way, because I'm a nice guy, you know?
I know that. Enigma, do you want to continue this conversation? I'm here on the side of the road. Or have things progressed to another conversation now?
I don't know. I don't know what Enigma does. I was never part of that.
Fucking talking in here. I didn't even realize the
Oh shit!
I leave for a few minutes and everything goes fucking sideways.
Ah, don't worry. If I wanted to kill Reiner, I would. I'm looking at him for a scope now.
Could you check out the zombie behind me? While I get a weapon out.
Ryan who?
All I'm saying is, if he runs his mouth again, I'm gonna freak the fuck out.
Don't freak out. Just let me handle it. Report him to me. Shit, I'll cut him to pieces.
Chedaki, I'll handle.
Shooting from behind me, Sasha.
He's mine, though.
Oh shit! Hi.
Chedaki, don't give a shit. That's why I walked right past you and continued talking to him.
Yeah, where are we at?
Oh god, the desync, Alyssa.
Yes, I see it. Ah!
You ran up in the mountains?
Well, I'm trying to lose one of these guys with some of my little turns.
I killed the zombie for you.
Delina?
Thank you.
Is that where
we're so goddamn far?
Yeah, we went to Delina.
Well, most of us are logging off. I don't know how many people are staying on.
Yeah, I got off at restart because I'm at work early. I know it's what.
I was gonna
3 in the morning for you, huh?
I see you sneaking around there.
Until I heard fucking.
That's not who.
Running his mouth.
I'm bandaging.
No, not you. I see one of our dudes sneaking around in town.
No, I'm walking.
Damn, I need to find a shirt.
Is it, Jake?
I didn't know where you went. I was gonna finish the conversation.
I'll come back to that place on the road where we are now that I'm bandaged. Hang on, and we will.
It's not Gorka, yeah?
I think the last thing you said to...
if you want to speak to Volky, he's in the middle at the well. You're still right.
Right.
Yeah, I know, but in terms of the narrative, like, Enigma's character, whose name I still don't know, and I are standing at that road sign.
Yeah, I'm going back to it.
Alright, I'll do the same.
Alright, yeah, server crashed in the middle of your conversation.
Is that, I mean, is that appropriate? Is that how, or do I consider that
Yeah,
his
that's
time
what
has passed, or...
I
No,
mean,
that's how I
on
would
it.
do it.
It's fine. Just go back through it and continue from there.
I would just go back to the whole conversation. Yeah.
And I think the last thing you said was,
oh, man, that was a good nap.
Oh, right?
I was saying it's like
when was the last time you were in a war, or when did you see a war, or and your people dying and things like that?
Yeah. So I basically finished, and that's your time to reply.
Okay, I'm at Northwest.
Alright, I'm gonna go back up to Alcyone, and but just poke me.
Count to 3 and just start.
Channel switched.
Hey.
You know, sir, I'm not claiming that I've been in a war like you have. I certainly have seen many people that I cared about die. I certainly have been challenged for my beliefs a lot here recently. I've seen plenty of suffering. I have experienced my own. I don't claim to understand everything about your experience, but I certainly am open to listening and learning more. I think every human is afforded that much respect. And I try to live that every day.
Oh, you're double miking. Fuck. I thought you were
Well, I'm just going to say that kind of lost a little bit of my respect after harbinging that fucking CDF sympathizer.
Well, surely you must have heard what I had to say to him about you guys. He suffered. He was small when his parents were killed. He didn't know anything about lines on a map, or politics, or guns, or war, or infection. Surely you remember a time when you didn't know those things?
Now, though, he knows enough.
He knows who took his parents away. He's still young. He's trying to survive just like the rest of us, sir.
Well, maybe. Maybe if you say he's young and that he can't handle himself, or that he doesn't understand, or whatever, or maybe you should tell the little boy to not run his fucking mouth and say that he's going to use a gun on somebody.
Well, to be fair, I have tried to quell Mr. Reiner's mouth, but you know how teenagers are. Well, they're rebellious, they're full of angst. Surely you've thought about putting a bullet in someone's head, sir?
No, I don't know how teenagers are, because mine was killed before I could even get there.
I am so very sorry to hear that, sir. So much loss. Perhaps then, perhaps there is a chance to see a bit of what teenagers are like, because it's very difficult to control them. They are rebellious, and they don't understand everything about the world. Certainly, well, Mr. Reiner has learned enough to survive, but he was a university student at one point in time. He's kind of a bookworm. You know, those are talents, but not necessarily the same talents as yours.
Bookworm with a fucking mouth. I've beaten the shit out of people for less.
And I thank you. I thank you for wanting to do that, but not. It shows your ability to restrain yourself. It shows your strength.
Shows my strength. You need to keep a leash on your dog. I tell you what, if I hear him say anything to me or anything of my, you know, my group or my friends again, shit is not, you know, shit will go sideways. I'm not saying, you know, I would hurt you or anybody else, but, I'd beat the shit out of him and he would wish he was dead.
But let me ask you just one question, sir. What would that accomplish? What would that do but add to the death in the world and the suffering? What if you had an opportunity to change his mind about who you and your people are?
Do you not understand that, you know, did you hear the conversation that me and him both had?
Yes, sir, I did. And Speaking as a woman who has attended diplomatic relations in Egypt, well, I've heard worse.
Heard worse. Heard fucking worse. Yeah, okay.
Well, after all, sir, not a drop of blood was spilt today. Sure, there were harsh words, there are hard questions to answer, there are histories and stories to be told and known, but we did talk today, even if those words were angry. We've opened a door. I don't expect it to be easy, by far, but you're trying to change the culture here too, right? It starts with people. It starts with breaking bread. It starts with actually caring for the people that you say you do care for. Feeding them, clothing them, actually protecting them. We're doing some of those things here.
I care for my people. I give shit about everyone else. But you're not with us, you're against us, like I've been saying. So either you're my people, or you're not.
Well, I will tell you this, sir. As far as I'm concerned, you are my people because we are all human. We are all standing on the same plot of dirt. We're eating from the same soil. We're breathing the same air, sir. Da, sir.
Not your people.
I would feed you, and I would offer you drink and medical care if I saw you on the side of the road. How does that not make you my people? I would do it without a second thought, sir. And any one of my people, even Mr. Reiner,
yes,
he might talk a big game.
What would I have to do in return? How about that? Do you know what communism is?
No,
do
sir,
you know
nothing.
What capitalism is?
Of course I know what these things are, but sir, I'm not asking for anything in return. I never have.
There's always a price with you Westerners. Always a price. You're all capitalists.
It does not surprise me at all that you think that, but I have never ever asked for anything in return for these things.
It doesn't surprise you. Do you not understand that the U.S. is the reason that the Chedaki aren't spreading communism around? We already had this done fucking months ago. We would have everything the way we want it, even with this fucking infection. Do you not understand? We would have won the war if the fucking U.S. did not intervene.
Yes, I know. I assure you, I had nothing to do with shaping American foreign policy. While I might have had
Then how did you get here? How did you come of this place?
Well, you see, actually, I wanted to learn about the outside world, more outside of America. I was a counselor, I was a therapist, and I was working with the suffering of individuals in small groups. But then it occurred to me that, well, the principles of counseling might have even more impact on the principles of diplomacy and, in fact, foreign policy. And so I decided to work on a PhD and travel the world, studying places where there are, in fact, civil wars, where there are foreign policy nightmares, where there are breaches in cultural understanding, people on 2 and even 5 sides of a divide trying to survive in the same country. I was in Russia, and then took a student retreat up north in the mountains. And that's when I first encountered the infection in quarantine. I was trying to learn more. I was trying not to be the typical American. I understand capitalism. Well, it's like this, it's a slick marketing trick, isn't it? It perpetuates greed. There is no currency left. I truly wish to see people live. I want to see humans rebuild. I want to see...
There may not be a currency or money or any of that shit, but there is still payment. No matter what, the capitalism, always finds a way to, to worm its way into like that.
Here is the payment. If you meet another man suffering on the road, give him a drink from your canteen. If he's hungry, give him a bite to eat. If he's cold, give him a jacket. If someone's done it for you, do it for them. That's the payment.
No, niet.
Yes.
That's communism.
That is what I am asking. That's what I'm trying to set up here. Sir, look. Walk around the town. You'll see little bags with food or weapons and things. I haven't gotten around to collecting enough paper to write little notes, but they're there for people who need them. I encourage people to take what they need. If someone has something to leave, then that's great. That's helpful. But it's when we take care of each other that we're all taken care of. I look out for your back, you look out for mine. It's as simple as that. When every single man, woman, and child does that, when we all take personal responsibility to look out for each other and ourselves, none of us will have anything to worry about. We'll be able to fight off what's left of the infected. There'll be enough food because we'll have people who are happy growing it. There'll be hunters. You call me naive, but I tell you, I think to some degree we share a similar dream.
There's still just one problem. I understand, and now listening, is very close to communism. There's just one problem. Let me ask you this. Let's say whatever is in your backpack right now, is there anything that you call 100% yours?
There is one thing here that I would hope that no one would take from me. It is a note with some beautiful words written by a friend of mine. But if there is anything in this backpack that you need, sir, then take it.
I don't need anything from your backpack. I was just trying to get a point across. You can pick it up. I can see that for the most part we are on the same page.
You see, and this
For
is...
the most part, because you still have that kid. That kid is a problem.
He's valuable. I know that he's got a smart mouth. I
He's
know
not
that he's full of
valuable
anger.
me. He's expendable.
I am sorry you feel that way. I do promise you that I have worked with him to try to get him to, well, be a little more diplomatic, and he's actually gotten better.
I have a proposition for you. How about this? I have a proposition. You spread the word of communism and all its ideals. I'll forget about you little prick.
Sir, the things that I've said to you today are the things that live in my heart, and if you agree that these are the ideals that you and I share, then I already am doing that work for you, and will continue to do so.
There's a difference, though. There's a difference. You see, although the communist idea is a very good idea, the word communism itself is powerful. If you don't use it, it doesn't have substance, it cannot form into a concrete
Yes, but you
image
know,
in mind.
and this I think is certainly the fault of American propaganda, and perhaps you can help me with this. I agree with you, the word communism is powerful, but sometimes its power is counterproductive to the actual values of communism. In other words, what people perceive as being communism is not what communism actually is. And so discussing communism often raises people's ire. Would you agree?
I understand what you're saying, and like we said on the building, everybody learns differently. I think that's something you come across with your, I don't really know how to say other than you guys playing house in the little education thingy, but yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought, I'm not going to lie.
It's okay. I think, well, I think appropriate education about what communism actually means and what it actually looks like. Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. What I was going to say was that since everybody does learn it differently, you know, either way, if you say communism first or you say communism last, as long as the word is thrown in there and you know, the people understand the ideals and then know the word, then you know, it makes it concrete, it makes it powerful, you know.
I understand.
That the Westerners and I don't really like using these words, but the other foreigners around the world, with all the propaganda, don't really like the word communism. But if you explain the ideals of it first and then use the word, it makes more sense of why the word it is with the ideals.
Yes, exactly. I find it helpful to discuss the idea of community, you know, first, and that they share roots, you know. Once you begin to think about the idea of a community that works together, then I think the idea of communism becomes more clear. You know, I wonder, I bet you could help, if you're willing. I wonder, do you know if there are any books in the country in good condition that espouse these ideals? Is the Communist Manifesto? Are there any in places around here? Do you?
I'm sure there's written text around. Unfortunately, since you know, my group is always on the move and we don't really have time to read books. We you know, communism is more or less imprinted in our brain, kind of like in our DNA almost, if you want to say. But you know, we don't have time to carry books. We have to carry food and, you know, ammunition and that kind of thing, and medical supplies, so that we can keep moving, keep spreading these ideals and you know, fighting the good fight.
Of course, I just thought perhaps you might have a better track on such materials than I do, you know.
I'm sure some of my you know, my comrades might have an idea, but me personally, I don't really know whether as of the state of the land, maybe beforehand I could find one, but as of right now, I have no idea where I can find a book of it.
Well, that's all right. I have some people who can look for such things as well. But perhaps if you'll spread the word to your friends that we are absolutely looking for such things to add to our library, and of course to share with the people of Chernoris, and any tracts or anything about communism, your mission, you know. Heck, if you'd like to host some educational event peacefully, well, I'm certain that even that can be arranged.
As long as you keep the little prick mouth shut during such event, we might be able to arrange something.
Well, I'm certain that if everyone can manage to speak civilly and respectfully to one another, then all will be quite well. And perhaps quite a few people might become more enlightened.
You think I get mad with the whole CTF? There's many more that, you know, they would snap quite more quickly than I would. I was more or less mild.
Yes, well, that's why I felt it okay to come and talk with you along the road, and I think it's been a valuable conversation, truly. And, you know, I apologize. My manners have escaped me. I did not give you a proper introduction or ask for your name, sir. My name is Alyssa Morgan.
Roman Pavlovsky.
It is a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you as well.
I do hope that, well, you know a little bit more about us today, Mr. Pavlovsky, and that you understand that we are not here to stand against you or anyone here surviving alongside us.
This is where the question comes into play then. If you're not here to stand against us, if, you know, shit hits the fan and we're going to to war with said groups. Will you be at our side if we call? I know you're not military, but every person counts. Everybody is equal. Everybody has to pull their own weight.
Sir, we are not military, but if a military force rolls on down our road here, we'll do whatever we can to defend ourselves against any aggressors.
That's not my question I asked you. I'm not trying to be
But sir,
rude.
that is the answer.
The question I
Neither
asked
am I.
was...
If you expect me to provide...
If we go to war with someone and we call for your aid as an ally, will you answer the call?
Sir, this is a neutral institution. I'm not certain what is so difficult to understand about that, but we do not offer military alliance to any group of people, no matter who they are. We do not offer a military alliance.
That's the problem. You say you're not against us, but you're not willing to be with us.
Sir, we're not a military entity. I have a gun on my back for hunting.
We weren't military at the start either. We are, you know, one of my best friends like to say, we are war trained. We're not military trained. We learned on the fly. You see, most of us had no idea how to shoot a gun at the start of this shit.
Well, sir, I for one am not enlisting in anyone's army, and that will simply have to be good enough. I have my hands full, keeping an eye on this little patch of road right here and defending it.
Well. We were going so well.
Sir, you wouldn't even want me in your army. I assure you, you want me here providing medical care and food and things.
As I said, everybody is equal. Nobody is different. You see, I would want you in my army if you're with us. My best friend that died beside me on the battlefield, he had no idea how to shoot the gun. He had no idea. He was a fucking janitor before the war. He had no idea. He'd never shot the gun before. Either way, alright, let me put this way. Let me put this way. I have something for you. I have questions. Maybe not go to war, or maybe if some of you guys are, you know, are better shooters than others, or whatever. If you want to use your whatever your teachings accordingly, then do you know medical treatment if let's say I get shot?
Then if I have medical supplies, you're getting medical care if I possibly can provide it.
So you're saying that let's say my buddies get shot in you know, a combat situation. If we come here and say, hey, we need you to patch us up, Doc, are you going to do this?
Why wouldn't I do that? Of course. This is what you need to understand, sir. This is neutral ground.
Completely. This is
you
what
come here, you are
not
welcome. You need medical care, you will receive it if we have it.
Hold on.
You need food.
I understand what you're saying.
Your men.
The reason I'm asking these questions is not because I don't know what you mean by this place. I know it's neutral and I know you share the same ideals as me. This is me testing you on, you know, what you do in case, you know, shit hits the fan. I want to know your responses to questions. You understand? You say, I don't know what you are here or what the official title that you've given yourself or something, but you know, teacher or whatever. This is like a homework test or something. I don't know how to say in English. Like questionnaire where I ask you a bunch of questions to see if you get different responses or if you you know, act certain ways, you know. They may act aggressive and a brute, but you know, there is still brain and head.
Yes, no, I think actually the conversation is a good one. You know, so many people feel as though they, how do I say it, as though if they disagree on a point that, well, it's a sort of a mortal insult, you know. I think that it's quite possible for me to respect you and even care for you as a human being, but not necessarily agree with everything that you say. You ask good questions. What do I do when, or if a group of bandits comes down here? What do I do if war spreads from the east and broils over? Who do I call? How do I defend myself? What if a truck full of injured men comes? How do I triage the medical care? How do I decide who gets what first? These are hard questions. It's not easy. That's why humanity's been asking them and answering them for years. The only thing that I want is for people to just stop pulling the trigger over them for long enough for us to come up with some workable answers together. That's what I stand for.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
Hasn't war taken so much from you
It
already?
includes my questioning.
Well, that's my question for you. Haven't bullets torn your people apart? What if there's another way? What if there's a pause? What if we can build bridges? What if we can stop?
The other ways.
You've never tried it with me.
You say you're neutral. You say you won't, you won't do anything.
I want people to live.
Is that correct? That's what I want to do. But you know, if we have to fight because people don't share, the right ideals, then that is what it's going to have to take.
This town here, Dolina, and there's a little campground up in the north that I'm hoping might be student housing or something at some point. This is what we're hoping to build as our public campus, where events can be held or classes. We hope to have a library. There's also a radio tower a bit to the south that we've been working on making operational. We'd like to make broadcasts of the news there for survivors, where they can find supplies, where to avoid bandit groups.
You mind if I cut you off for just a second? Not trying to be rude, but
no.
Maybe I can take a look at it. I'm quite good with radio transmission and mechanics.
Really? Well, actually, that would be very helpful. Would you like to go there now and walk and talk?
Unfortunately, I've spent a lot of time here and over the radio. Many of my people are kind of growing impatient, and I had to turn it off after they were yelling at me.
My apologies, sir. I'm keeping you from your comrades and your very important work, but I have very much valued our time together today, and I thank you for your questions, and I thank you for your offer. Perhaps you will come and see us again. Let me give you our frequency. Please do share it with your folks. Will you do that?
And,
And hey, maybe a good way to start would be don't wait until you need medical care. You know, why don't you maybe come have a beer or a meal with us sometime? Not because you need to, but because you're invited, and because you're welcome, and to share.
Seems all nice and fancy, but this is the first time in quite a while that we've been able to just stay in here and talk around with people. Most of the time, we're either trying to find someone or someone's trying to find us.
Even busy men such as yourselves need a place to take a breather sometimes, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say you deserve it?
but, you know, how do the American Westerners say, duty calls
Yes.
a lot for us, apparently.
Well, I won't take any more of your time, but please do remember the offer and the invitation, because it is open. We are peaceful here. All we ask in return is peace and sharing. That's all. I swear it.
Alright, you know, keep that in mind. Like I said, you might want to keep the little kid on a short leash from now on. Because if you're lucky it was me that was here listening in. The other friends of mine, let's just say you wouldn't have this camp anymore.
Yes, I assure you I am working with him every day.
Little man that run his mouth in a country like this, especially with, you know, Chedaki moving about again, is going to get himself killed.
I am certain that he doesn't want anything of the sort, so I will make sure to have a talk with him.
I'm not saying this is a threat, you know. We may not be prideful in our country, but we are very prideful with our ideals, and we really hate our enemies. So either way, it's nice meeting you. I forget your name already, but it was nice meeting you, and maybe we'll meet again, hopefully on better terms.
I certainly hope so. Please, I hope you and your men are safe out there. My name is Alyssa Morgan, and this is Alcyone.
I'm not going to even try and pronounce that. My English is shit already.
That's all right. Perhaps if you hear it, you'll recognize it. And at the very least, you know this little patch of road is a place for food and sweet water and medical supplies if you need them, okay?
Alright, до свидания, I'll see you later.
До свидания, comrade. Be safe.